Thank you so much for tuning in. I'm Samira from When the Music Stops, and I'm sitting here today with Sacha Robotti. Sacha, thank you so much for joining us.
Thank you, Samira, for having me. Thank you, Beatport. Thank you, When the Music Stops.
We are here to chat about one of my absolute favorite subjects, mental health. Sacha, I know you've been on a really incredible journey with your mental health, so if you could just share a little bit of background about what that's been like for you, we'd all love to hear.
For me, it has been like PTSD that I had or have. That's been, I suppose, in some way diagnosed last year. But it's something that I've had that has been part of my life since maybe since I was like 15 years old or something, when I lost my mother. And this has basically affected my life as as a man, as a professional, as a friend, as relationships, everything.
I'm curious, like, are there any practices that have been supporting you through this time of COVID?
For like a month or so, the first month, 2020, March, April, it was just kind of we thought it's going to be over soon and we're going to get back on the road and stuff. So, many of us, including myself, we were just like celebrating, partying a lot indoors with our friends, drinking a lot of alcohol. And at around my birthday, 23rd of April, I was just like, I realized like my body was feeling so bad that I just decided to go sober. And that includes like no alcohol, no cigarettes, no nothing, no weed, and no substances of any nature, just coffee, which is a drug too, but yeah, I just stopped everything from one day to the next, more or less. And I started again working out with a trainer, a friend of mine, and I spent more time outside in nature, connecting myself with the sky, the earth, grounding myself. And another practice was trying to be more mindful and present in the moment. And also I had some therapy sessions, which were also really valuable.
Do you have any like daily habits or rituals that you do to kind of support your mental health?
Working out regularly as much as I can. If I can do 5 times a week, I will do 5 times a week with my trainer. If you're active with your body, you take yourself out of the brain space. Like if you're in your brain and you're stuck in here, the best thing to do is to literally get out of that space. Like if you're in your bedroom depressed, let's say, and you can't get up, take a really cold shower,
Yeah.
And like jump up and down, like run up the street, literally change your physical state, your body state. And that has been really helpful for me. Try and sleep. Yeah. Sleep is the number 1 healer ever. It's kind of cool, like to say, oh, I haven't slept in days, and like I was up and I went to 8 after parties, like, yeah, it's fun. I get it. It's fun. But or for me, at least, I'm not saying that's for everybody, but it kind of is also, because we're all biological beings. If you can, sleep.
We've almost like glamorized not taking good care of ourselves. Like we literally, we brag about like staying up all night and partying and not taking care of ourselves. And it's almost like this badge of honor that people wear. And I totally used to be one of those people. Like I remember when I was in school, it would be like,
oh yeah,
So it would be really common to be like, oh yeah, like I stayed up all night working on this project. And it's almost like you're like proving how hard you're working, or, you know, in the case of partying, like you're proving how much fun you have or how cool your life is, right? But having good mental health a lot of times means making choices that are better for you in the long run, even though maybe in that moment it might appeal to you.
It's less of like, I want to go to bed because I want to function the next day, is like, I just want to go to bed because I will feel better. Personally, it's more for me. I don't, yeah, functioning is nice, but it's like kind of paired together. It's mainly for me to feel better the next day when I, you know, when I interact with people, or when I just sit in a Uber, you know, or from the airport home, and I'm not just like, oh my God, I was going to kill myself because I'm so, you know, it's just like hungover, horrible. And that's just, you know, for me, because it was just years of doing that, plus jet lag, plus this, plus that. Probably more than, you know, maybe other people who don't have this kind of job, or, you know, and so yeah, that's why I choose that. And, you know, honestly, I have not been touring really this year. I've played like a bunch of shows, you know, I played maybe like 10 shows or something. So I don't know how I would, if and how I will be able to maintain this kind of, you know, vibe when I am on tour, let's say, hopefully next year again. But I'm going to try. I'm definitely going to try and keep it up like that, you know, because I'm sure also, like, the better I feel, the better I will perform DJ-wise, the better, you know, it's just like, for me, it's like a chain reaction of just like good things happening, you know. Sometimes I'm just like, see my friends and I'm just like, come on, just go to bed, you know, like, you know, you'll feel better.
Yeah.
If you do that, you know, I try to help them, or, you know, but yeah, pretty crazy.
Yeah.
Crazy life.
I think a lot of times, you know, as much as we can kind of like observe these things in other people and want to help them, I think it's a journey of self-discovery most of the time. Like, people have to kind of do that for themselves and want that for themselves for it to actually be something that's sustainable. Otherwise, it's just, okay, I'm doing this thing right now because my friend told me to, but like the next day they're going to go right back to doing what they've always been doing, you know?
And you're touching on something that also I changed this year, pretty much, peer pressure and the surroundings, the environment, and mainly the people that you associate yourself, the peer pressure and everything, again, like accumulating, can be just like destructive. If all your friends do K all the time,
Yeah.
or whatever, fill in the blanks, you know, prescription drugs. Again, I'm not saying these things are bad per se. The extreme use of these things is probably not that great for your health. And if everybody who's like a friend, or someone you look up to, or mentors or whatever, is doing that, then, you know, you might be quicker to do that as well.
I think peer pressure is, I mean, I think it's talked about, but I don't know how often I hear it talked about in the conversation around mental health. And I think it's so important to bring up because it is a huge factor in how you feel, is like the people that you're around and whether or not you feel really comfortable being true to yourself. Because at the end of the day, I think for most of us, if we're in an environment where we're around a lot of these things, or maybe even it has nothing to do with substance, right? But it just has to do with the environment you're in. Most of us feel more comfortable saying yes and going along with whatever's happening than we are saying no and being potentially like the odd one out, right?
Right.
And that's why I think it's so important not only to like be mindful about the people you spend time with and are around, but noticing whether or not those people are okay with you making the decisions that you make, whether or not they're making the same ones. There's such a different energy when you're around people who actually accept you as you are, because then it doesn't matter. It doesn't matter what they're doing. It doesn't matter what you're doing. I'm doing me, I'm taking care of myself, and like, you can make whatever decisions you want, and that's fine. But it's so important to just notice the people that you're around, how you feel when you're around them, whether or not they honor your boundaries and your decisions, or if
in general, but also regarding that, yeah.
Totally. So that's awesome. I'm glad that you've gotten to put that into practice a little bit.
Thank you. Yeah. For sure. And once again, I'm not trying to judge, publicly or privately what people do with their lives, or if they're addicted to anything, whatever it is, that is like kind of up to them to make a change or not. But I just noticed how it impacted me personally and how it like didn't make me a better person. And so that's why I, opted for a different path.
Yeah, we all just have to do what's right for us at the end of the day.
Right.
Your journey is not going to look like my journey. My journey is not going to look like that person's journey. So
right, or just back to drugs and so on, or sleeplessness. You can use substances to mask your shadows, let's say, or to ignore all that and just like keep functioning, and then it just surfaces in other ways, so it doesn't even have to be acting out in terms of like, I'm acting out because I'm mad and I'm going to do this or that, but not addressing the thing at hand in your heart or wherever it is, because your body remembers things like that, but just mask it, and then it's just like a band-aid and it will surface again. So yeah.
So glad you brought that up. I think that's really important to notice. Like, it shows up in different ways, but most of those ways are not really contributing to our overall well-being.
Right. The magic pill doesn't exist.
I'm a huge advocate for do whatever is going to be empowering for you and is going to support you. So if for one person that means taking medication, cool, take the medication. But
absolutely, I'm not talking against medication, at all.
But just making that distinction of, it's not going to be the medication alone that heals you or that solves the issue.
Right. That's what I'm trying to say. Yeah.
Right. But also get to the root of what it is that's causing this issue in the first place, because that's real healing happens. The last thing that I want to ask is, if you have any advice that you want to share with anybody who might be struggling right now?
Things actually can change, and bad times, bad feelings, bad moments can pass, and you're actually able to heal, because that's part of life. Try and have patience with yourself, and if you feel guilty or about something or something that happened in the past, try and forgive yourself. You got this, and you're stronger than you might think right now. You have survived until now, right? You're still here. If you watch this, or if you read whatever you do, you're still here, and things can be better.